Political systems are the backbone of every society, providing the essential framework for governance. They provide structure and organization, determining how power is distributed, setting rules and regulations, and ensuring order within a nation. Understanding political systems is crucial. It helps us grasp how our world works and why societies function the way they do. Different countries have different political systems, which shape the relationship between the government and its people, influence the decision-making processes, and impact the rights and freedoms of citizens. These systems can range from democratic to authoritarian, each with unique characteristics. Political systems are not static. They evolve over time due to historical events, social movements, and economic factors, reflecting the dynamic nature of human societies. These changes can be gradual or revolutionary, often driven by the collective will of the people. The study of political systems is essential for understanding global affairs, helping us analyze conflicts, collaborations, and power dynamics on the world stage. It provides insights into the functioning of international relations. By understanding how different systems operate, we can better comprehend the complexities of our interconnected world and the diverse ways in which societies are governed. Democracy is often hailed as the most desirable form of government, emphasizing citizen participation and the collective decision-making process. People have the power to elect their leaders and have a say in how their society is run, ensuring that the government reflects the will of the people. There are different types of democracies, each with its own unique characteristics and methods of operation. Direct democracy allows citizens to vote on every issue, giving them a direct hand in the legislative process, while representative democracy involves electing representatives to make decisions on their behalf, which can be more practical for larger populations. Each model has its advantages and disadvantages, balancing efficiency with inclusivity. One of the key strengths of democracy is its emphasis on individual rights and freedoms, allowing for personal expression and autonomy. Democracies typically guarantee freedom of speech, assembly, and religion, providing legal protections to citizens and fostering a diverse society. However, democracies are not without their challenges. They can be slow to make decisions and are susceptible to political polarization, which can hinder progress. Maintaining a healthy democracy requires an informed and engaged citizenry, where individuals actively participate in civic duties and stay educated on political matters. While democracy is widely embraced and celebrated for its inclusivity and representation, it is not the only form of government that exists in the world today. Authoritarianism, totalitarianism, and theocracy represent alternative systems of governance, each with distinct features and implications for society. Each system has its own unique characteristics and ways of maintaining control and order. Authoritarianism concentrates power in the hands of a single person or a small group, significantly limiting citizen participation in government and often restricting individual freedoms and rights. Totalitarianism takes control to an extreme level, regulating every aspect of life, suppressing dissent and opposition, and using propaganda and fear to maintain power and control over the populace. Theocracy is based on religious law, with religious leaders holding political authority and the government enforcing religious rules and principles, often intertwining faith with governance. Understanding these alternative systems is crucial for analyzing global politics, helping us comprehend the motivations and actions of different states, and shedding light on the various challenges to democracy around the world, including threats to freedom and human rights. Authoritarian regimes are characterized by a concentration of power. A single leader or a small group holds absolute authority, controlling the government and its institutions. In authoritarian states, citizen participation is limited or suppressed. Elections may be held, but they are often rigged or controlled by the ruling elite. Opposition parties are banned or marginalized. Authoritarian governments often restrict individual freedoms. Freedom of speech, assembly, and the press are curtailed. Citizens who criticize the government face persecution or imprisonment. There are various motivations behind authoritarianism. Some leaders justify their rule by claiming to maintain order and stability, while others exploit nationalist or religious sentiments to consolidate power. Totalitarianism represents an extreme form of authoritarianism. Totalitarian regimes seek to control every aspect of society and individual life. They use propaganda and censorship to shape public opinion, controlling the media, education, and culture. These governments promote a single ideology and suppress dissenting views. Surveillance is a hallmark of totalitarian states, where the government monitors its citizens' activities, communications, and even thoughts. Technology is often used to track and control the population. Examples of totalitarian regimes include Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler and the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin. These regimes were responsible for widespread human rights abuses and atrocities. Theocracy is a system of government where religious leaders hold political power, and religious law serves as the basis for the legal and political system. In a theocracy, religious principles guide government policies and decisions. The interpretation and enforcement of religious law are often subject to debate and interpretation. Examples of theocracies include Vatican City, ruled by the Pope, and Iran, governed by Islamic clerics. The relationship between religion and politics can vary significantly across different theocracies. The role of individual rights and freedoms in a theocracy depends on the specific religious doctrines and their interpretation. In some cases, religious freedom may be limited to adherents of the dominant faith. Anarchy is the absence of government or any form of centralized authority. In an anarchist society, individuals are free to make their own choices without government interference. Anarchists believe that government is inherently oppressive and that society can function without it. They advocate for self-governance and voluntary cooperation. Critics argue that anarchy is unsustainable and would lead to chaos and disorder. They maintain that government is necessary to provide essential services and maintain law and order. While there have been historical examples of anarchist communities, they have typically been small and short-lived. The viability of anarchy as a long-term political system remains a subject of debate. Political systems have a profound impact on the development and implementation of laws. The structure of the government, the distribution of power, and the role of citizens all influence the legal framework. In democracies, laws are typically made through a legislative process involving elected representatives. Citizens have the right to participate in the political process and voice their opinions on proposed laws. Authoritarian regimes often have a more centralized lawmaking process. The ruling elite or a single leader may have the power to enact laws without significant input from the public. The legal system reflects the values and priorities of the political system. Democracies tend to emphasize individual rights and freedoms, while authoritarian regimes may prioritize order and control. Political systems shape the daily lives of citizens in countless ways. They influence access to education, healthcare, and other essential services. They determine the level of freedom and autonomy individuals enjoy. In democratic societies, citizens have the right to express their opinions, assemble peacefully, and participate in the political process. They are protected from arbitrary arrest and detention. Authoritarian governments may restrict these freedoms. Citizens may face censorship, surveillance, and limitations on their movement and association. The economic system of a country is also influenced by its political system. Capitalist economies often coexist with democratic governments, while socialist or communist systems may be found in authoritarian states. Throughout history, various political systems have emerged, flourished, and declined. Ancient Greece saw the rise of democracy, while the Roman Empire developed a complex system of governance. The Middle Ages witnessed the dominance of feudalism, a hierarchical system based on land ownership and loyalty. The Renaissance and the Enlightenment brought about new ideas about individual rights and the role of government. The 20th century was marked by ideological conflicts between democracy, communism, and fascism. The Cold War, a geopolitical rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, shaped the global political landscape for decades. Understanding historical political systems provides valuable insights into the evolution of governance and the challenges of creating a just and equitable society. The future of global governance is uncertain. The rise of populism, nationalism, and technological advancements pose both challenges and opportunities. The interconnected nature of global challenges, such as climate change, pandemics, and economic crises, requires international cooperation. However, the existing mechanisms of global governance are often seen as inadequate or ineffective. Some experts advocate for reforming international institutions such as the United Nations to make them more representative and responsive to global challenges. Others call for new forms of global governance that go beyond the traditional nation-state system. The future of global governance will depend on the choices made by states, international organizations, and individuals. It is essential to foster dialogue, cooperation, and a shared vision for a more just and sustainable world.